Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 15. We're on episode 7 or 8. I think it's 8. But anyway, we're well into the season of Married at First Sight, and so far, it's been a really good season. This has been a really nice season. We got really nice couples, for the most part, really good people, really nice, really calm, like cool collective. Unlike the Boston season, this season, these couples are in it for real. Whether it'll last or not, that's a whole different story, but, at least they're taking the process seriously, unlike the last season. So, dive right into it. We're going to start with Sasha and Nate. So, this is the episode where, we see this every year on Married at First Sight. After they move into the apartment, they invite their family, and all the couples invite their family and friends over for a housewarming party. And all the couples had, like, a different theme. Like, Sasha and Nate had, like, a 70s theme. Kristin and Mitch had, like, this, like, alien type theme. Morgan and Ben had this Talking Tequila theme. It looked like Alexis and Justin had like this like candy type theme, and Lindsey and Miguel, I forget what their theme was, but this is the episode where they talk to their family and friends for the first time really since their wedding to discuss things. And I'm gonna start with Sasha and Nate. So Sasha and Nate, their topic came about. Well, it's still the topic about kids because, they're 37 years old, time is ticking. Sasha wants a kid, like, within the next year or so, and Nate is just, like, wondering if he's ready for that or not. Now, they talked a lot about to their friends. Nate had mentioned that, that Sasha wants him to be more vulnerable. Now, Nate's saying that he has been very vulnerable with Sasha. But Sasha wants him to go into deeper, and Nate is just saying, like, how can I go into deeper, he feels like that's her insecurities a little bit. She wants him to be more vulnerable, but it's becoming to the point where I feel like Nate's feeling like he's trying so hard, but he's not getting anything accomplished. So, so they're still working. I think with them too, we didn't see much of them in this episode, but like with them too, they got to pick it up a little bit more with the communication, But other than that, like with this episode, they had a nice little 70s party. They had the 70s afros on, they had a really nice time. Like, they're still a really cute couple. And I think if they can work on the communication a little bit better, they're gonna succeed. So that was like basically we seen from Sasha and Nate. There really wasn't much out of them compared to everybody else. Next up is Morgan and Ben. So they had their housewarming party, and and they were talking about like how was the wedding, how was the reception, and everything. Well, they were grilling Ben about the honeymoon. And remember what happened on the honeymoon. Ben had told Justin that that Morgan was one credit short, and that she's not a nurse or whatever, even though she really is a nurse, but she's one credit short, and that really irritated Morgan, and that put like a damper on their honeymoon. And now Morgan has these walls up. So at the housewarming party that they had, they, like Morgan and Ben's friends were grilling, what happened on the honeymoon? What happened? Now, Ben would not say, like, what happened. I think out of respect for Morgan, like, he's trying to respect his wife and his wife's boundaries when it comes to that. And, like, Morgan was whispering to her friends, was like, I'm so glad that he's not saying anything about it. So all their friends are okay, let's pull each other to the side. Morgan went up with her friends, and Ben went up with his friends. And Ben was telling his friends, I overreacted, it is what it is, whatever, and Morgan's friend said, like, okay, if Ben came into the room right now and asked you, are you a nurse? Would you say yes, or something along the lines of that? And she said yes. So Morgan's friends were like, okay, you need to forgive and forget. okay, it was just something, I'm sorry that happened, but it was just something not so over the top, like serious, like, um, I think with Morgan, she keeps saying, like, if this wasn't a marriage, she probably would have left over that, so I think Morgan, I think she can't keep finding the easy way out when it comes to certain things, and I know that's going to be like, I hope that doesn't like become a damper on their relationship, and I hope this is what this marriage teaches her, not to walk out over every little thing. I'm not saying what happened when they were in Mexico on a honeymoon was something small, but that's something that could easily have been fixed. So yeah, so I hope that Morgan and Ben like continue to work on that. Like, Morgan, the main focus with her is like her walls down, and that's the thing they keep talking about. So yeah, that's what we've seen out of Morgan and Ben. Next up on talk is Kristin and Mitch. Kristin and Mitch, they had a really slow start, but they are doing really well at this point. Kristin, Mitch, because as we know in the beginning, Mitch was not into Kristin at first. I think he was just overwhelmed, but he did a complete 180. Like, and now they're consummating the marriage. She said that she couldn't get him off of him at this time now. Like, so yeah. Now, the issue that Kristin is having with Mitch at this point now, because Mitch is this big environmental person. He likes to like save the planet, like recycle, which is all well and good. But I think him overdoing it is starting to get to Kristin a little bit. Like, she had bought out these like plastic like shot glasses or shot cups for their housewarming party, and Mitch was like, I want this kind of brand so we could use them again and stuff. And Kristin was just like, okay, I'll do it, but this costs a little bit more extra money. And then she talked about there was like he had something tall in the house that he keeps bringing. He keeps bringing all these like tall things into the house, and he keeps placing them where they be talking at. And Kristin said if he keeps bringing those stuff in, that they're gonna have some words. Well, there's that. And then also, as you also remember, Kristin was a runaway bride before. Remember, Kristin was previously engaged to a guy. He had cheated on her right before the wedding, and so she called out the wedding, but they still went to the wedding place to have like a little vacation with the girls. And she hasn't told Mitch that. She met up with her friends to talk about that. Then she finally sat Mitch down and had that conversation, and Mitch was just like, that's not your fault. That's not your fault, and I don't look at you any differently. This doesn't change the way I feel or anything, so it's all good. So that was a nice relief. I think Kristin and Mitch, they're communicating really well. They're accepting each other for who they are and stuff, and that's really nice. But I do think that Mitch needs to tone it down a little bit with the environmental stuff, because, she's not going to be on point. She's compromising with that, but she's not going to be on point 24/7 with that, and and I feel like that is going to put a damper on her marriage. But but Kristin is really enjoying this marriage, and I had to give it to her. She is loving every minute of it. Like Mitch seems more happier than he was at the beginning of the season. I was a little iffy about him at first, but he's really turning it around. So I hope they can continue on this path. So yeah, next I want to talk is Alexis and Justin. Now, talk about a 180. Alexis and Justin, as we know, on their honeymoon, they were all lovey-dovey. They told each other they love each other. Yes, big deal. They get back to the house, and then, of course, Justin's dog attacks Alexis's dog. Now there's some issues. Now they're having a lot of communication issues. They got into they showed a big argument. They were arguing and screaming at each other, saying like, Alexis doesn't want Justin to be so vague when he talks and tells him the truth. She feels like that Justin is like, he's telling the truth, but he's not telling the full story. And Justin like when they met up with each other's friends about it, they said, well, that might be just a guy thing because, like, we're not going to think about the situation until it actually happens. Like last week when Justin's dog attacks Alexis's dog, and apparently Justin's dog has been in a lot of fights. Well, a lot of guys, I think, like Alexis's friend said, like, a lot of guys, like, won't think of it until it happens. Like, a lot of girls will think of the stuff like before it happens. Guys won't. So, Alexis like, okay, I never really thought about that. But, okay. But, her issue with Justin is that she doesn't want him to be so vague, and he's being very vague with her when he tells her things, meaning that he's pretty much not telling the full story on anything he tells her, and he's saying that, oh, I'm going to tell you everything, that you're going to get tired of me, and this and that, but Alexis is like, I'm not seeing it. And they're already screaming at each other, arguing and stuff. It's just like where is this animosity coming from? So they were just like in the honeymoon, they were just like madly in love with each other. And now ever since they got back home, after the dog incident, like they just have not stopped fighting, and it's sad because I had high hopes for them. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you confess your love for each other right away. And I think that maybe Alexis is being a little bit harder on him. And that usually what happens if the guy tells the girl that he loves her first and she's not ready to say it back, that does change the dynamic of the relationship. They're not going to, because Alexis clearly said that she said that, normally she wanted to run. She wanted to run when he said that he loved her. And that shouldn't happen that way, but that's just something you really got to be careful with saying, because a lot of people do take the L word really seriously. They can take it a great way or a scary way. It shouldn't be scary. I used to think after felt relationships that love was scary and it hurts, and someone told me no, love is not supposed to hurt. Love is supposed to be good. And I had to think about that. So I think that they do. I think they do love each other. And she said, and Alexis still says she still loves Justin. She said that she's not in love with him, and that's fine. But you can say you love each other, but there's a difference between loving someone and being in love. They're not in love yet, so I feel like there shouldn't be no harm to this right now. But they're fighting a lot. They're the only couple that's fighting the most right now, and it's unfortunate. So yeah. So that was Alexis and Justin. Now I want to talk Lindsey and Miguel. Lindsey and Miguel, now they had their big blow up. And, Lindsey likes to, as I mentioned, Lindsey likes to talk a lot. Lindsey comes from a really big conservative background. Now, Lindsey wants to be on, a big topic of this one was Lindsey wants to be on Miguel's health insurance. Well, Miguel wants Lindsey to have his last name. And they got into a big argument about that, and how I feel about this situation is half and half. I see both sides completely equal. They're trying to plan for post the 8 week out of this 8 week experiment. I think that now, if Lindsey doesn't want to take Miguel's last name right now, then technically you are married. So so I think it's almost automatic. Like she says, like a legality basically, and Miguel doesn't really want to put her on his insurance until he's certain. And Lindsey is just we're still getting to know each other. It's only been 2 weeks, and so how do I know is this going to be forever? And Miguel was like, well, if we're going to be planning for forever, I want you to have my last name. So they just went back and forth about it and everything. And eventually, they actually came to a consensus. Miguel is going to put Lindy on his health insurance. So, and they showed that at the end of the episode. And I'm just like, okay, cool, but, and I'm glad they're compromising, but, you know, something just felt to me that was just too easy. I don't know if Miguel is trying to, like, do everything that Lindy wants, or, you know, he feels discomfortable and stuff, like, because, you know, Lindy is a certain type of way. But I just felt that was too easy. I thought that was nice, but, you know, but I just didn't think, like, them agreeing that soon and that easy. And it seems like that's been the case, like, throughout their whole marriage. Like, you know, Lindy is, like, rambling about something, and then Miguel compromises, okay, we'll do it this way for you, Lindy. And even when it led to the consummating the marriage and stuff. So, like, you know, I think that, you know, I feel like they are compromising well, but it can't be that easy with them two. You know, they had a big blow up. Miguel didn't like the tone that Lindy was speaking in, because Lindy did raise her voice a few times. She was actually cussing. Like, dang, this little Christian girl, conservative, cussing up a storm now. It's like, dang. Like, she was basically cussing them out about it. So, like, but I don't know, but, you know, they're compromising. I mean, I like Lindy and Miguel, but I just think that I hope that Miguel doesn't. He wants to make his wife happy, but, you know, there comes a point in time where you gotta feel like you gotta stand up for yourself. Well, okay, I'll do everything I can to make my wife happy, but at the same time, what am I going to be happy about as well? What is she going to compromise with me on? So maybe she will take his last name. Maybe they will say yes on decision day and stay together. But we can't predict the future. But what we can predict is what it is now. And what they are now is that they are legally married. So, you know, again, they're still worried about decision day coming. That's still 6 weeks away. And that's 6 weeks away from them. And that's like 8 more weeks for us. So, for us viewers watching. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, I was Married at First Sight. It was a good episode. I'm a little worried about Alexis and Justin. I hope they can get back to the way they were. You know, everybody seems to be, like I said, this has been a good season so far. Everybody's nicer. You know, they're calmer. Like I said, whatever will work out at the end for these couples or not, I don't know. But everybody's nicer, calm, and it's just at the end of the episode last night, all the girls got together, all the guys got together just to talk where they're at and stuff, you know. Everybody's just really supportive to each other in this season. I remember Sasha saying that she's not going to be Team Mitch now after the honeymoon, but Sasha says she's happy for Kristin and Mitch, that they're doing better. Nate said that he did not consummate the marriage with Sasha, but like he got like some kind of dessert or something. Like it was a weird conversation. I don't know what he meant by what he got dessert. Like Justin was like, what dessert did he get? Apple pie, sweet potato pie, something? Like it was just weird. And Mitch was just like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but okay. So, you know, but yeah, everybody basically is all supportive of each other and wants everybody to do well. So that's what I like about this season. So, but anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back on Sunday to do 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. So be sure to watch that and have a great day.